In the world, we are bombarded by brands. In fact, researchers suggest that we see over 1 million brands a year. They're everywhere. On your drive home, you're going to see billboards, they're on storefronts. Even in your house, they're in your pantry, they're on your refrigerator. So brands are everywhere, and how do we get our brand to stand out so that somebody sees us and recognizes what we're all about? Well, let's start with what is a brand. You know, we often think of a brand as a logo, but a brand's not just a logo. That's where a lot of people start thinking about a brand, but that's not our brand. And a brand's not your name. A name is maybe one of the more important parts of your brand, but in and of itself, your name isn't your brand. It's not just your products. It's not how you package your products. Your brand is emotion. It's how the market feels about your company and your employees and your offerings. And they don't just feel your brand, they have feelings about your brand. They feel you in their gut, what your company is all about. And it's what you do, it's how you treat your employees, it's how your employees answer the phone, it's how your employees deal with customers that have a problem. All of these things come into play when you're talking about your brand. But the thing that's important to remember is your brand is not about you. It's about your customers. It's not what you say your brand is. It's not what you tell people to feel about your brand. It's not what your gut says about your brand. It's what the market feels about the brand. It's not what you tell them your brand is. It's how they perceive all of these things about you and your company. That is your brand. So how do we become something that stands out in a sea of companies, in a sea of emblems? How do we become remarkable so that our company isn't just another yellow pencil? Because yellow pencils are everywhere. And if you're just a yellow pencil, nobody's going to remember who you are. So you become remarkable not by selling around the mean, but by operating out in the tails. If we remember our bell curve from school, I did a little survey of the consumer laptop market. There are 35 brands selling a Microsoft-based operating system. Is an Asus computer remarkable? Won't get too many yeses for that, will I? But out in the tails, there's Apple. Does Apple make the most fantastic computer ever built? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on what you do for a living, depends on how you're going to use it. What about their iPhone? Is this the best smartphone ever built in the entire world? You know, as a lot of people would suggest, it's not even the best smartphone in the market, that its direct competitors are way ahead of it in lots of areas. But don't tell that to Apple people, because they think their phone is remarkable. And what is it about an iPhone, what it is about Apple that people think is remarkable? Being remarkable is about consistently delighting your customers. And that's really hard to do. So back to this being remarkable business, it all starts with your unique selling proposition. What makes you so special? What makes you better than the guy down the street who's selling the same kinds of products that you are? Because if you can't differentiate yourself, you're just a yellow pencil. You have an eraser, you're yellow, and it writes. Nobody cares about features. except for you. Your customers only care about how my pencil makes their life better. My pencil has special red paint, specially formulated to enhance my brain and creative powers. It has a logo that's embedded with special pheromones that release creative juices and allow me to write the most fabulous calls to action. And then there's the lead, the super smooth writing lead. And when you combine all of these things, my pencil, it allows even 16-year-old boys to write the most miraculous love letters to head cheerleaders. Your pencil, it writes and erases. My pencil makes dreams come true. Let me give you a specific example of how this works. Back in the 1910s, a gentleman by the name of Otto Rohwedder invented a machine to slice bread. Now, before that time, if you wanted bread, you broke or tore a piece off a hard loaf. And in fact, people used to use the bread with its hard crust as a utensil for eating soup or stew or whatever. But Otto spent most of his life developing this super complicated machine that would slice bread, and then he filed a patent on it. And for 15 years, he marketed his complicated machine and the patent that went with it. By all performance standards, Otto Rohwedder's machine was a complete failure. Nobody cared about his patent. Nobody cared about his machine. It wasn't until the middle of the Great Depression in the 1930s when Wonder Bread Company started selling sliced loaves that people started to care about Otto's machine. They promised mothers bread that kids would like with nutrition that they desperately needed. They marketed to moms with the promise of tasty loaves that kids would actually eat, and became a household fixture and remained there for 75 years. Otto spent most of his life marketing a machine and a patent, and nobody cared. Wonder Bread took sliced loaves and promised kids good health, and they became an American institution. So what's your wonder? What's your red pencil?
AD4 helps businesses of all sizes create effective brands and use their brand to grow their business. Call us today so we can help you find your red pencil.